Welcome to Drunk Comics, Tourquose.
Thank you.
So, would you like to tell me a little about yourself?
Ooh. No, there's nothing about me that is interesting. My name is Tourquose. I don't know shit about comics except for the one I'm about to talk about right now. That's
And
it.
how did you discover this one?
Ooh, I was walking through Borders. You guys remember Borders before? Yeah. And then I saw it and I was like, I'm going to read that. And I did. And that's it. That's it.
I mean, love at first cover sight. Always judge a book by its cover when we're talking about actual books, because they're meant to judge their covers.
Most of the books or series that I love, I've literally just been it's almost like by accident. Like I saw it or it was given to me and I was like, I love this. And that was it. like there's no interesting story behind it. Nothing.
All right. Do you have the book with you to show us?
Ooh, okay.
If you don't.
I'm going to go get it, okay? Hold on one second. That's Transmetropolitan. Never mind. That's not Borders at all. Or Fables.
Oh, that's adorable. I love it. Fables.
One of the Fables that I grabbed off of my bookshelf, which is Storybook Love, which is like volume 2 or 3 or it's volume 3. And
nice.
Awesome. Okay.
Such a striking cover.
I'm sorry. Okay. I thought that was. Oh, look, it still has the Borders price tag on it. Do you guys see that? I paid $14.99. Probably not. I probably got it on sale. But
nice.
This is a vintage item. Like, you can probably sell the price tag on eBay for like 30 cents. So, anywho. so Fables. Fables is about basically like storybook characters in a modern setting and different. So I guess there are stories from the fairy tale that you know to modern day. So a lot of them are nigh unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And modern day fairy tales isn't exactly like original in this day and time, but like when Fables first debuted, I don't know what the term is for comic books, but it was like 2002 or 2003, something like that. It was kind of still a novel idea. Like, this was before Grimm and Once Upon a Time and shit like that. Actually, fun fact, they were supposed to turn Fables into they had like some kind of deal with a TV or a movie or something like that. But instead, the TV network, I don't remember which one it was, one of the major ones, NBC, ABC, some shit like that, they decided to go with Grimm instead. So even though they had like the whole script typed up and stuff, they're like, nah. And they decided to go with Grimm. Probably because Grimm is probably, I guess, more recognizable. Like, everybody knows that a lot of the fairy tales are Grimm stories.
So it would have also been cheaper than paying royalties to the comic authors.
Is it? See, I didn't even think of that. I was just like, why would they not do that? This sounds way better. But I'm biased, so I didn't even think of that.
Because the original fairy tale characters are all, I can't think of the word, but they're all free. Their
Out
rights
of
are
copyright.
royalty free.
Yeah.
But if you specifically take someone's story that they've written, like I can't take Disney Snow White and write a story about her, but I can take Snow White, the original fairy tale character.
Grimm's fairy tale. Yeah, you're completely correct. 100%. Snow White is pretty much the major character of these stories. And along with her sister, fun fact that I didn't know that she had, named Rose Red, and the Big Bad Wolf, or in Fables, Big Beowulf. So, these books are, I think it was created by, is it William or Bill? Bill.
We'll have to look that up.
Bill
we can fact check it when we're sober.
It's Bill Willingham.
That's like a fake name. That sounds like a fake name. Like okay, if you're like, what's your name? It's not John Smith, it's Bill Willingham. Okay.
It's Johnny Smith's son. Anyway. It's created by this guy with a whole bunch of other people, like penning and drawing and inking stuff. I found that inking is a term in comics. I told you I don't know shit about comics, but I found out that inking is a term.
Yeah. You want me to drop some knowledge on you about inking?
Absolutely.
Okay, so inking is not just tracing lines after someone has drawn a picture. Inking is an art form in itself. So the inker, they do like trace over the drawing, but they also add in the shading, and the inker really makes or breaks the art. So that's all.
What does the colorist do, or color, whatever the hell? What do they do?
Colorist adds the color, and they also, you know, make or break the art because, like, how bold you go with the colors and how you like whatever you do with the colors, because you could do like a watercolor look, you could do like a really bold just color blocking. It's really interesting how collaborative comics are. It's like if you sit down and write a book, you're writing the book mostly by yourself and then afterwards an editor. But with comics, the artists really have a lot, because it's such a visual medium, the artists really have a lot of say in the story. So when an artist stages each scene, does as much for what is happening in the scene. Like,
so Snow White, who is a major character in this book, is the lieutenant governor of Fabletown. That's what they call their little community that is modern day fairy tale people who literally, when I say modern day, like they live in like New York, like today's time. They
I love it.
Yes, and the people who live in New York
wears power suits and rocks them.
Yeah. And technically her title is Lieutenant Governor of Fabletown, but she makes sure to tell everybody who will listen that she runs shit. Okay? The actual like governor of Fabletown is oh my goodness, I'm completely blanking on his name because I'm drunk.
Because he's not important.
Old King Cole, who's a very old soul, okay? He is the governor.
And also super incompetent. Super incompetent. Yeah. So
Always like, okay. Snow White, make sure to tell everybody the only shit he does is shake hands and kiss babies. I do all of the important shit behind the scenes. I take care of policy and stuff like that. So that's her. Okay. Snow White, right, who is literally, I think, yeah, she's ranked as like one of the lowest, like, oh my goodness, like the neediest Disney princesses, basically. Like, she's not ranked very high on that list. She's pretty helpless. But in Fables,
because it was the first movie, and
yes, she's
awesome.
Snow White is kind of the boss, like literally, okay? And then the sheriff of Fabletown is Bigby Wolf, who is the big bad wolf in Fables and fairy tales. You know, there's three little pigs, and he was a dick and blew their houses down for no apparent reason, probably to eat them, not for no apparent reason, but he was trying to eat them. So he blew their houses down.
Wolf's gonna wolf.
Exactly. Wolves gotta eat too, okay? And they eat meat.
They're not vegans. They're not vegans, man.
They're not vegan. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Bad.
Why he would die if he tried to be vegan, probably. So,
I mean, bacon is delicious. Is he really that evil? Bacon is delicious, man.
They were sentient creatures, though.
Okay.
They were like that's a good point that you bring up. So the people in fairy tales, as many of you know, some of them are human-like, and then some of them are obviously animals. So the humans people can live in New York in like this high-rise building with, you know, the other humans. And the fables, that's what they call themselves, the fables who cannot take human form lives in upstate New York on a farm. Like, it literally is just called the farm. They're not creative at all.
But equal. Yeah. Do we see the problem here?
Yeah. So, one of the first rules of Fabletown is that you cannot reveal yourself to the Mundies. Mundies are mundane people. Think Muggles and Harry Potter. They are not fables or magical or immortal or any shit like that, okay? They're just mundane people, and you cannot reveal yourself to them. If you do, you have to go to upstate to the farm. That's where you live. So it's a secluded community with people who cannot look human. So like Mother Goose and Shere Khan the tiger, the three little pigs, shit like that. You know, those guys all have to live upstate. And that, of course, plays a big role in a lot of the shenanigans that happen. So it turns, oh goodness, I am skipping around all over the place. It's okay to rein me back.
No, it's fine.
The first volume of Fables Volume 1, they what happens is that Jack of Jack and the Beanstalk fame comes running to Bigby Wolf's office like, something terrible has happened. There's been a crime. And Bigby Wolf is like, sure, what the fuck is happening? Because Jack is kind of a con artist. Like, he is. Like, think of Jack and the Beanstalk. Like, oh, the magic beans. Like, one of those people who wants something for nothing. Yeah, that's him still in modern day Fabletown. So he, like, the wolf is like, sure, what happened? He's like, you have to come quick. There's been a terrible crime. So he goes up to Rose's Red apartment in the Fabletown, like, high-rise thing. And if you don't know who Rose Red is, you're exactly like me, because I'm like, who the fuck is that? So far, like, most of these characters I know from fairy tales and everything. So apparently Rose Red is Snow White's sister. Did not know she had a sister, but she does apparently, and her name is Rose Red, and she's a complete wild child. Okay, she's a free spirit. She likes to do her own thing. Okay, like, that's such a crime. Apparently, so apparently she's been murdered. There's blood everywhere. Snow White's freaking the fuck out because her and her sister are not on the best terms, but that doesn't mean that she wants her dead. So he's like, what? So Jack is like, yeah, I came up to Rose's Red apartment and it was full of blood, so I came running to you. So Bigby Wolf has to investigate because he's the sheriff. May I also point out, when I say he's the sheriff, he is the single only fucking police person. in Fabletown. There's nobody else. It's just him investigating. I think later on he gets a deputy. I can't remember who, but I think that he does. But as of right now, it's just him.
I think it's Little Boy Blue's his deputy.
Is it Boy Blue? Because, like, I know Boy Blue works with Snow White in, like, the mayor's office. Is it mayor or governor? Fucking hell. What's the difference when you're only one society? Who cares? Mayor, governor, president, senator, prince. Who can tell?
It's all the same. I think Prince is not elected versus elected, and I know they definitely have elections.
Yeah, so apparently for Prince, like in the first book, Prince Charming, who is a total D-bag, who saw that coming? Everybody. Like, total douchebag. He auctions off his title for money because he's a prick. And Prince Charming is the ex-husband of both Snow White and Cinderella, who Cinderella has a fun little side story that you can read if you read the spin-off series of Fables called Cinderella from Fabletown or something like that.
Her side story is delightful. Delightful.
So good. So, like, Prince Charming is an asshole.
And Sleeping Beauty is also ex-wife number 3, I think. Or Cinderella's ex-wife number 3. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, did Belle marry him too?
No. Nope. Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and Snow White. He got with all 3 of those ladies.
Oh, Aurora. Yeah, you're right. Correct. So, we get introduced to him being a total asshole, of course, to, like, this modern-day waitress who he, like, skips out on his bill and then goes back to her place and it's like, do my laundry for me. Anyway.
Yep.
And he does. I mean, she
does. Man-child. Man-child with a silver
and he does not grow up in thousands of years. Like, that just never happens for him. And it's like, at least the dick is good, though, according to the one waitress in Fables Volume 1.
The silver tongue and silver other parts.
Exactly. Sorry, is this a PG series? X that up. Anywho, so
it is not PG, not even the slightest.
So Wolf is investigating the murder or the disappearance of Rose Red, and Snow White, being lieutenant governor, is like, I'm getting in on this investigation. You can't do shit about it, otherwise you're fired. Because this is not a democracy at all. Come on, it's a fairy tale. That's not a thing. So Baby Wolf has no choice but to let her in on the investigation of the murder of her own sister, who she is not on good terms with.
Yeah, I see no problem there. No
problem whatsoever.
Just like
so he does. He has, like, she strong arms him into doing it. Because she's literally like, what the fuck are you going to do? Tell me I can't. He does. So, he comes to find out that Rose Red had made a contract with somebody called Bluebeard. Now, Bluebeard is a fable that I have not heard of before. I don't know if I haven't heard of him or if I didn't know that was his name. But he's the person responsible for beheading all of his wives if they displeased him. And back in Fabletown, or not in Fabletown, what they call the homelands. Oh my goodness. You have to cut to the beginning of this. I'm sorry. Because I completely forgot to explain what the homelands were.
No, it's fine.
Okay. The fables come from somewhere where they call the homelands. The homelands is various kingdoms throughout, fairytale land. And they were driven from their homes by somebody they call the adversary. The adversary was somebody who was taking over kingdom after kingdom after kingdom after kingdom, and the people from the homelands were like, yeah, but those people over there. They're not going to come for us. You know, does that sound familiar? Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're like, they're not going to come for us. Then, of course, he did come for them. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? They were sitting back, like, enjoying, I don't know, pina coladas or something. And then he was like, surprise, bitch, I want your land. And then, like, they ran and shit. And they were like, you're terrible.
Because there was no one left to stand up for you because you didn't stand up for them.
Exactly. So they ran to the New World, which was America at the time, and we meet them in Fabletown, which is modern day New York. So that's how they got there. I did not explain that, but that's why they're there, because there's somebody who wants to kill them, and they don't know why or who it is. Of course. So they just call it the adversary.
And they explain that they're immortal because their stories give them power.
Exactly. So the reason they're immortal is not because of the place that they come from. They're, I guess, kind of like, it connects to that. So when they came to the New World, stories, as they tend to do, cross borders and countries and peoples, you know, like people tend to have oral histories passed down and everything like that. The stories, the characters involved in these stories gain life from the way that people remember it. So because Snow White is such a huge fairy tale in modern day, she is technically immortal so long as people remember her and not worship her, that's the wrong word, but the way that people continue to pass down her story. So think of basically anybody that Disney has told a story about, they're kind of immortal. Same thing with the Big Bad Wolf. The Big Bad Wolf has been passed down from generation to generation, century to century. He's kind of a big deal, you know, in Fabletown. Rose Red, who the fuck knows who Rose Red is? She ain't no big deal.
Or Rose
if
Red.
somebody decides to shoot her in the face, she's probably dead. So, which, spoiler alert, happens. I mean, not to her, but to Snow White. So, where was, oh my gosh, I'm so terrible at this.
Oh, you're doing lovely. So we're at the crime scene. Or no, we're at Snow has muscled her way into the investigation, which is totally not an issue at all.
No, not at all. That wouldn't be a problem. So she noses her way into the investigation. And of course, he has to go check out the crime scene, which is completely full of blood. I mean, like everywhere. On the couches, on all the furniture, on the walls, on the ceiling, probably in the toilet or some shit. There's just blood everywhere. So obviously you're like, holy shit, Rose Red got murdered, right? So Bigby Wolf is like sniffing out this investigation and he's asking very specific questions, which makes no sense to non-detectives, but I guess make perfect sense to him. Like, how come this
my dear Snow?
It's like, whatever. So it all leads up to this ball, okay? This ball is called Remembrance Day. And this is only for the high-class fables that people remember, like Snow White and the Beast, or Snow White and the Big Bad Wolf, and Belle and the Beast, and, you know, such peoples. You know, I guess the peasants, they don't get to come to this thing. So, he has to reveal who the killer is at the ball, and he kept saying over and over again, like, everybody's like, why do you have to do this here? Like, can we go home? Like, can you just finish this up and arrest the person in question? And he's like, no,
he's a big
every great detective has a parlor scene, and I won my parlor scene. He's like,
I feel like this tells you why Big Wolf is the only police officer, because he probably doesn't get much to do.
right? That's what he literally said. Like, I never get to do this shit. Like, I'm doing it now. So, he's like, he makes forces the people involved to be like, this is why. Oh, okay. Shit. So, it is revealed that not only is Rose Red not missing or not dead, she is at the Remembrance Day Ball Festival thing in disguise, and she is perfectly alive. And
surprise, bitch!
Right, surprise, bitch! With fries, bitch! Disguise. I'm sorry. I went back to my own Vine days. He's like, she set this whole thing up to make it look like she was dead to get out of a marriage to Bluebeard. Remember Bluebeard? That's the bitch that killed all his wives. Rose Red got engaged to him for money because he's one of the Fables that escaped with all his money, and not all of them did. So, Belle and the Beast, remember that big ass awesome library he had? They did not escape the adversary with their fortune. So they're poor Fables. And Rose Red is not even remembered at all. So she's definitely poor. So she decided to get engaged to Bluebeard for money because he escaped with his fortune, probably from nefarious circumstances because he's evil as shit. And then she was like, one of the stipulations is that we have to wait 1 year to get married. And guess what 1 year was? Remembrance Day, okay? And she was trying to get out of that marriage because she's like, he's not going to have my fucking head chopped off. Fuck that. I just want the money. So she's like, yeah, we got to fake my death, bro. And her boyfriend at the time, Jack of the Beanstalk fame, remember that kid? Yeah, he went along with it and tried to trick people, but everybody's smarter than him because he's kind of an idiot. Because who trades magic beans for actual products? Who does that? Jack does, so he's not that smart. And he, of course, gets caught immediately. So Big Wolf is revealing all of this. And Snow White's like, why the fuck wouldn't you tell me from the beginning that she wasn't dead? Because the entire time she's like mourning her sister, like, oh my gosh, somebody killed my sister. There's all this blood everywhere. She died a horrible death. And he was like, I didn't know that she wasn't murdered. I just knew that the crime scene was staged. So he had to tell everybody he's genius because that's what males do. And she's like, that's fucking stupid. You could have told me from the beginning. And he's like, bitch, you're a suspect. Like, just because you nosed your way into my investigation does not mean that you weren't a suspect. So,
you should say suspect. Why is she from her sister? Yeah. Well, why is she estranged from her sister? You should share that.
Right, exactly. She okay. She's estranged from her sister because Rose Red decided to sleep with her husband, who was Prince Charming at the time. Yeah, Rose Red was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on some of that dick. And then Snow White was like, yeah, I'm way too fly for both of you, so you deal with that. I'm gonna divorce your
peace
the fuck out. I'm gonna become mayor of Fabletown because I'm that bitch. And then she did. So that's the whole story. She left her loser husband and sister behind and was like, peace, bitch. So that's what happened there. And that was so punishment. So of course everybody in this situation has to be punished because she's Snow White and she's the boss bitch, okay? And everybody can't just get off scot-free. Like, there was a whole investigation and stuff. And they had to pay Big B Wolf for this. So nobody's like, oh, let's go home. She's alive. That's great. Absolutely not. So Jack and the Beanstalk fame. I don't know why I keep saying
Jack. You have to remind us because Jack is such a common name. We have to know.
Right. Right. So Jack and Rose Red get sentenced to community service only on the strength that Rose Red is Snow White's sister and she does not want her punished with her life. Because what they did is apparently punishable by death. Okay? And then Bluebeard, that's the rich prick who beheads all of his wives. He was refunded all of his money that he paid to marry Rose Red. And then, I'm missing a person. Ooh, I forgot the part about Prince Charming. That doesn't make a part. Prince Charming, the douchebag that everybody like he doesn't even try to hide it. He's just like, whatever. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I don't care who I hurt in the process. On Remembrance Day, he decided to auction off his title of prince to whoever the highest bidder was. Which happened, not the highest bidder. People were to purchase raffle tickets and they were going to pull whatever raffle number, and that person gets the title of prince or princess, I suppose. And the proceeds of that raffle was to go to Prince Charming. But the fine print of the deal was that the people who are hosting the auction, which is the mayor and lieutenant mayor of Fabletown, can minus whatever any reasonable expenses that they need from whatever he gets, for whatever profit he gets. Who happens to be his ex-wife. Bill has no theory. And she decided to pay Bluebeard with the proceeds that were received from the auction of Prince What's-His-Face title. And the proceeds were like millions of dollars, right? But they had to pay back Bluebeard. So what Prince Charming ending up receiving was like $27,000 or some shit like that. And he was super mad. Like, what the fuck is this? And she was like, I told you that I was going to subtract any reasonable expenses. And he's like, reasonable? There's millions of dollars. And I got like 20 some dollars. Like, and she was like, well, you should have read the fine print. So I was like, that was mean. but she had to play Bluebeard back so that her sister would, die. Also, she told him, like, well, you shouldn't have slept with my sister then. Like, this is, I guess, it was kind of her payback as well as, like, payback Bluebeard. And then Bluebeard did not get to marry Rose Red, and he just got his money back. And they're like, you're lucky you're fucking getting your money back. So there was that, because they're like, if you refuse to accept your money back, then you're going to be tried for your crimes, which the punishment is death. The punishment is death a lot in Fabletown. I'm just going to put that out there. Kind of due process is not a thing. Yeah. Due process is not something that exists there.
Off with their heads. So also, how hard they are to kill? Like, punish people with death if they're so hard to kill. I don't know.
There's only certain people who are hard to kill. So.
And Bluebeard's story is not quite as well known.
But the thing with Bluebeard, because I didn't know who the fuck he was, I don't really think that he's that hard to kill. I just think that he's rich. He escape the homeland with his money so he can buy protections and shit like that, where other fables cannot. But
his
he's not
story is
that
not
smart.
exactly Disney friendly.
Exactly.
His story is not Disney friendly. Children all over the world are not hearing that as they go to sleep.
Right.
His
So
story
like,
is
so like, if Belle was to like, they tried to kill her, she'd be probably pretty difficult to kill because like her story's been told over and over, and people know who the fuck she is. So yeah, it's a little bit different. But Bluebeard, they could probably kill him if they needed to. So, so anywho, that's Fables Volume 1. I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that's basically the whole story. Spoiler alert, I spoiled the whole thing if you were planning on reading it. Sorry.
Oh, that is all right. No, there's still a lot. I read a lot of the books and they're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. I was just like, oh, this is nice. They're all